Sonic X Episode 58. I hate how the CG on the airship makes it look like it's realistic with the dark lighting. An alarm goes off, and Tails says there's two objects closing in fast dead ahead of the spaceship. It's some Metrics who just stole the planet Egg, and one of them puts a bunch of metal ropes around the spaceship, and I almost cringe at seeing the plane wings get cracked all over. Sonic's put in the cannon, as I wonder how I'll be expected to believe that Sonic would be fine in the vacuum of space. That's dumb! Why can't they just give him a bubble shield? This is a very constant plot hole in the arc. He then falls from space after knocking out the big Metrics and sending the planet Egg to the surface. And it takes forever for the heroes to get worried because Sonic isn't coming back to the ship. Chris says they launched Sonic too hard and he couldn't get out of his spin in time to get back to the ship. And Knuckles says it's too bad he doesn't have a parachute. That just makes me wish the writer thought to have him have a parachute. Somehow, instead of Sonic dying from the fall, he's fine and simply finds a Chaos Emerald in the forest. Surprisingly, one of the Metrics, who isn't built for battle, is scared that the heroes are coming for him, and he has an overly goofy voice that's really obnoxious. I also hate that he makes ape sounds for no reason. Knuckles tells Amy that he doesn't want Amy getting in their way, and I'm glad they take off in the plane whether she likes it or not. Cream walks around the forest, and Cosmo says the trees are sad, and she wants to restore the planet Egg. She's creepy. How would she ever know this? She has the body of a person, basically. She clearly looks like she has flesh. How is she a plant? Amy wants to go find Sonic, and she thinks she can go rescue him herself without relying on anyone else. This reminds me of Sally's stubborn independence streak. And somehow Cosmo insists on also doing something alone, as if she hadn't ripped off Sally enough. And this really annoyed me because it should be obvious they're too weak and defenseless to go off on their own without even telling Chris they left. They're just gonna get in danger and get themselves kidnapped. They don't even have their comlinks with them, so Chris can't even call them. You know that's a terrible message when the instant the girls wander off, the audience immediately predicts that they'll just get in danger and need bailing out. And instead of the show mocking and disproving that assumption on a regular basis, they probably will get in danger and need bailing out. I have no reason to have faith in these characters because they can't fight at all. It goes without saying that you shouldn't make the female characters all this useless and weak. Since when will Cosmo fight? Amy has a hammer, but that doesn't matter in this show. Cosmo gets grabbed by a tree, and Amy advises her condescendingly to just go back. Cosmo thinks that she's tired of running away from danger, and remembers herself doing that and almost getting destroyed by fire from a Metrix. It seems very obvious and predictable that the planet Egg is right out in the open. The heroes take forever to go after it, and they even lampshade that this feels wrong, so of course they get grabbed by a net out of nowhere. And the net had been invisible. And the goofy Metrix laughs at them and puts them in a cage. You know, I hate false accusations of sexism and the like, but the show has made it so painfully obvious that this is a legitimate problem. Why can't Amy just break out of the cage instantly with her hammer? Why are all of these girls so useless? That just makes them look like a load. Oh good, Amy does break out with her hammer. So what the flying fuck took her so long? That just made her look like an idiot. Now I just hope she'll actually be useful after this instead of needing to be bailed out. Cosmo lampshades that she'll never save any planet if she doesn't stop getting herself in trouble all the time. If the writer knows this is a problem, why does he constantly do that with Cosmo over and over? Cosmo says that if there's a trap for the next planet gem, it'll only catch her. This is very predictable. They all get captured by vines that hang them upside down. They're even told that they're bigger saps than the trees around here. Cream throws cheese at the guy to knock him down. So it's really Cheese's victory. Wait, how the hell did they get free of their vines? That's dumb. So are the writers trying way too hard to prove that they aren't sexist by having just one girls episode? Because for once, they're actually escaping the traps. But it still fails because they're being captured all the time regardless. Cosmo briefly angsts about how she was being a load, and she gets sent away by another vine trap, and the planet gem falls into the bad guy's hands. Cosmo's leaf dress makes her slowly float down, and she starts throwing a bunch of red fruit at the bad guy so he can't see, and Amy hits him over the head with a hammer to knock him out. I'm impressed. For once, they're actually trying to make these characters competent, and then they all fall in a grass trap. Fortunately, Cream flies to fly all of them out of the hole. That's good. I'm just so confused that for the first time, all of these girls are being useful at once in Sonic X, because that came out of complete nowhere. Maybe this was written by a girl, and that's the big difference? Because I had every reason to be skeptical of their competence by this point in the show. Cream spins them around while carrying one of them so that the chain of girls can hit away the bad guy, and Tails finds Sonic in the plane. Then a giant Metric steals the Chaos Emerald. Oh, it's a giant machine of Eggman's. Never mind. They do look similar. Why does Eggman think he found the emerald first? Amy hugs Sonic, and surprisingly kisses him on the cheek a bunch. It's nice and weird at the same time that Sonic hugs her back just fine despite not wanting the kisses. Then Sonic and Knuckles and the Metrics get grabbed by Eggman's mecha. The planet egg starts glowing, and it makes the vegetation around them grow so fast that the vines grab all of them, and grab the mecha. I assume that Cosmo is doing this. So why doesn't she take the credit immediately to be praised? It was amusing and made me giggle that when Chris got called, everyone was just struggling and he had to tell them to calm down. Cosmo says she can't control the planet egg, and apologizes. And Tails gets the blue emerald and throws it at Sonic, which for no reason at all lets him spin dash out of the vines that should have kept him from bending down to spin dash out of them. Sonic rides on top of the moving vine as if he's grinding on a rail, which looks pretty nice to see for once. When did the show get good animation? Oh, never mind. The camera cuts away from Sonic actually impacting the bad guy, and we just see a giant smoke cloud. And Eggman flies away. How did Eggman survive that fall? The planet egg glows and slowly falls back into the ground and sends a bunch of green energy waves. And the vines all let everyone go just to be nice. Amy says she doesn't like gardening, and the Metric says he was programmed for monkey business and couldn't help but bother them. So he doesn't have free will as a robot, and he knows it. Sonic's speed fortunately keeps him from losing the emerald, and the annoying as hell Metrics with the voice like an AOSCH original character runs away, and we see a smoke cloud and explosion. So did he somehow blow up just because of stress? This was a surprisingly good episode, aside from all the times the girls were humiliated being caught in the traps. It was so predictable that they'd be caught in them because the planet egg was right out in the open looking harmless, and the heroes took an eternity to go grab it. So it wasn't funny to see Cosmo fall for it over and over again. I was so sick of them being useless that I was very cynical about them being caught in traps so much. But fortunately they managed to escape from every single one using their unique abilities, instead of needing Sonic to rescue them like I thought. It's always nice when a show subverts its tired annoying formula for once. For once all of these girls were being as useful as I'd actually expect them to be in every episode they're in. It's sad when average looks fantastic because it's been below average the whole show. Now watch as this doesn't set a trend, and they go right back to being useless the next episode. The Metric's bad guy was really annoying because they tried too hard to give him a goofy voice, though I found it refreshing that he was a comedy Metrics for a change. But they just made him annoying. It was like an AOSCH original character where they almost all had terrible voices, and he's making traps too. Of course, the very idea that Sonic could survive being shot out of a cannon in space without dying and falling from it was stupid. And combine that with him somehow surviving his fall to space when that gave Shadow amnesia. And there's no way he would have lived through this episode. But it was interesting that Cosmo used the planet egg to get the vine cell of the heroes and tie Eggman's mecha. And I liked that Sonic had nice animation grinding on one of the vines and beat Eggman. Though I'm really confused that the blue emerald got Sonic out of the vine, completely restraining him with no explanation. It's not like it gave him intangibility powers, he came out of it with a spin dash.